Okay, let's just dive right in. If you've tried to pick a premium AI tool lately, you know the feeling, right? It's this absolute explosion of options, just a chaotic landscape of names, prices, and promises. But that chaos, that's exactly what we're here to chart today. We're going to give you a map to this new global arena.
And when I say an explosion, I really mean it. We are talking about a global market with over 200 distinct premium large language model services. 200! That's the scale we're dealing with. So this isn't a simple choice anymore between a few big names. Nope. It's a complex global ecosystem. So to get our heads around this, we're going to treat it like a global arena, with different battlegrounds. First, we'll set the scene in what we're calling the new AI arena. Then, we'll watch the West premium giants duke it out. After that, we'll jump over to China and see how this unprecedented price war is just changing the entire game. Then we'll explore the rise of the specialists. And finally, and this is the important part, we'll figure out where you fit in to this new world.
So yeah, welcome to the new arena. It's crowded, it's super competitive, and man, is it evolving at lightning speed. Our goal here is to give you a clear map to make sense of it all.
And here's the crucial thing. We're focusing specifically on that premium tier. These are the powerful, paid services that professionals, developers, and businesses are actually using to get real work done. Everything from writing code to analyzing massive datasets. All right, let's get to our first main event. Let's see how the established heavyweights out in the West are battling for that top spot. This is the high end of the market, the premium stuff, where performance is absolutely everything. Looking at this table, you can really see two main strategies starting to emerge. On one side, you've got companies like OpenAI and xAI. They're competing on raw power, raw performance. They're going after the user who's going to pay top dollar for the absolute best reasoning power. But on the other side, you've got Google and Microsoft. They're playing the integration game. Their goal is to weave themselves right into your existing workflow, whether that's in Workspace or Office 365, and at a much more accessible price. It's a classic battle, right? Pure power versus seamless convenience. But while the West is competing on features and power, there is a completely different kind of battle raging in the East. This is a story all about price. And believe me, it is shaking the entire foundation of the AI market. And look, that is not an exaggeration. The source material calls it exactly that, an unprecedented price war. Chinese companies are competing by making their models, well, radically, almost unbelievably cheap. We are talking about a complete and total reset of the market's economics. This chart just shows you the sheer scale of the disruption. I mean, look, the price of using a top Western model like GPT-4, that's that big yellow bar, okay? The price for Alibaba's equivalent model, well, it's that tiny little sliver you can barely even see. It's not a discount, it's a fundamental shift in how AI is priced. Let's put a number on that, 97%. Alibaba dropped the price of its Tongyi Chenwen model by 97%. It's now 1/400th the price of GPT-4. And get this, they weren't even the most aggressive player. ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, they slashed prices for their Doubao model by 99.3%. It's just wild. And this isn't just one or two companies throwing punches. The entire Chinese market is moving this way. Baidu's ErnieBot, it's already snagged 200 million users by going after the consumer market. You have Moonshot AI offering a massive 1 trillion parameter model, and you can think of parameters as kind of like the neurons in an AI's brain, at total rock-bottom prices. And then there's DeepSeek. They've somehow figured out how to train their models for just $5 or $6 million, compared to the estimated 100 million it took for GPT-4. This is a total reset of what AI can and should cost. So we've got giants battling on features, we've got a price war raging. But there's a third really powerful strategy that's emerging that kind of sidesteps that whole fight, and that's specialization. Instead of trying to do everything, these models aim to do one thing perfectly. So it's super important to understand this difference. A general-purpose model, your ChatGPT, it's designed for breadth. It can write a poem, summarize an article, plan your vacation, the whole shebang. But a specialist model, like GitHub Copilot, is all about depth. It does one thing, in this case coding, and it does it exceptionally well. And that's where a new kind of premium value is being created. Coding is the perfect example. The market is just packed with these incredible specialist tools. GitHub Copilot is so advanced, it's now bundling other premium models like Claude into its own plans. Tools like Cursor are building entire AI-native development environments, literally changing the screen a programmer looks at all day. And then you have Codium, disrupting the space with a powerful free tier.
and Amazon's Kiro, introducing totally new ways to develop software. These aren't just assistants anymore. They are changing the job itself. And this specialization, it's not just about tasks. It's also about geography. In Europe, Mistral AI is winning over customers because it's focused on things like data sovereignty and local regulations. In Japan, NEC's model is 10 times faster on Japanese tasks. 10 times. And in Korea, Naver's Hyperclova X was trained on 6,500 times more Korean data than GPT-4 was. I mean, these models win because they deeply understand a specific language and a specific culture.
This trend goes all the way to the top, to the most expensive corner of the market, enterprise platforms. You've got companies like Salesforce, IBM, and Palantir building these highly specialized AIs for specific industries, and they are commanding the absolute highest premium prices of all for that deep, focused expertise.
Okay, so we've seen the giants, we've seen the price wars, and we've seen the specialists. Now for the most important part. What does any of this mean for you, the person actually using these tools?
So, in this crazy new arena, what's the winning strategy? What's the smart play? Here are the key things you need to walk away with. First, get used to using more than one AI. The future is multimodal. You're going to have a toolbox, not a single hammer. Second, understand that the true premium value a lot of the time lies with the specialist. The best coding assistant is probably going to beat the generalist at writing code every time. And third, that insane price war, well, it means that powerful AI is becoming accessible to everyone, which is just going to open up incredible new possibilities for all of us.
And all of this brings us to this one really fundamental question that this new landscape forces us to ask. For years, the race was to build one model to rule them all, right? The ultimate generalist. But as this landscape clearly shows, we're now in a world of specialists. So as you make your own choices, you have to ask yourself, is the future of AI really a single, all-knowing generalist? Or is it a team of highly focused experts? The answer to that question is going to define how we all work and create from this point on.